Man gored during Colombian bullfight. Colombian bullfighter, 35, gored to death after taunting bull at Pack Festival. A 35-year-old man was fatally gored by a bull during a traditional bullfighting event in Colombia after taunting the animal in front of thousands of spectators. Now let's get into the thick of it in today's AI podcast episode.
Okay, imagine this if you can. You're in a packed arena. The noise from the crowd is just immense. There's a man there, looks confident. He's shouting things up to the spectators.
Right.
Then he turns fast, faces this bull. It's already got these barbed sticks behind its head. He goes for it, tries some kind of somersault.
A risky move.
Incredibly. And then, just like that, a flash, the bull's horn catches him, throws him violently. Just chilling how fast tragedy struck Yovanis Márquez in Colombia.
Yeah.
We've gathered news reports covering this and, well, other very recent, very sobering events from similar festivals across Latin America. So for this deep dive, we want to pull out the really key facts, the insights from these accounts.
Give you a shortcut.
Exactly, a shortcut to grasping what's really going on with these cultural traditions.
And what really hits you first with these stories is that intersection, isn't it? This deep, deep cultural heritage clashing with, frankly, deadly risks. These aren't just freak accidents. The sources say they've reignited a pretty major public debate. So our goal today really is to get past the shock value of the headlines. We need to look at the why. What really matters behind these traditions?
Okay, so let's unpack it. We'll zoom in on these specific incidents, Marquez and the others. Try to understand the different types of events involved.
Because they're not all the same.
Not at all. And then look at the wider picture, the implications, these debates that keep coming up. By the end, you should have a really solid handle on this. Fascinating, but incredibly dangerous cultural phenomenon.
Sounds good.
So let's start with Yovanis Márquez, 35 years old. He was taking part in what's called a corraleja. This was in Fundación, Colombia.
Right.
And the sources, they use video footage to paint this picture. He was taunting the bull, tried that somersault we mentioned.
Which failed.
Tragically, yes, failed. And that's the moment the bull gored him. The descriptions, the chaos afterwards, the bull attacking again, driving a horn in, flipping him, just horrific.
And a really critical point here, something witnesses told the El Tiempo newspaper, is about right after the attack. He seemed conscious. Initially, one person said, and I'm paraphrasing slightly, he got up like he was fine, but the blood, it was flowing. Just seconds later, he fell down.
Wow.
They rushed him to a hospital, but he was pronounced dead right on arrival. That speed, from seeming lucid to fatally injured, it just hammers home the immediate danger.
It really does. And it's important we make this distinction, isn't it? A corraleja.
Yeah.
It's not the same as the Spanish bullfighting most people picture.
Definitely not. The Colombian corraleja is different. Our sources explain it's more of a regional thing where the public, well, members of the public, can actually get in the ring, interact with the bulls.
But the key difference from Spain is?
No killing the animal. That's prohibited in a corraleja.
Okay. But even so, despite Márquez being fatally gored, the festival.
Yeah.
It just carried on that Saturday.
It did, which tells you something pretty profound about the cultural weight these events hold, doesn't it?
Absolutely. It says a lot.
And connecting this back, Márquez's death, sadly, wasn't some anomaly. The sources are clear. It's the latest in a string of recent bull-related tragedies in Latin America.
Which leads to the obvious question. Why? Why do people step into that ring?
It's easy to just see the risk. But what often gets missed is the deep communal identity. Participating isn't always seen as just an individual gamble. It can be more like a collective act, upholding traditions passed down for generations.
That makes the whole safety versus tradition thing incredibly complicated.
It does, very complex. And as the sources suggest, it's an argument that's not going away. It endures.
That's a really important perspective. And actually, the sources mention this pattern points to bigger societal questions. They bring up two other major incidents recently. In Xico, Mexico, back on July 22nd. A man named Pozos, seriously hurt during a festival that sounds a bit like Pamplona's running in the bulls.
Similar format, yeah.
He knelt down in front of one bull, but then a second bull just blindsided him from behind, launched him. He needed reconstructive facial surgery, airlifted to the hospital. The descriptions of the injury sound, well, brutal.
They really do. And then even earlier this year, March 1st, a Mexican matador, Emilio Macias in Tlaxcala.
What happened there?
Even more extensive injuries. Gored by a bull, it pierced his left buttock, his femur, rectum, colon, and his right hip. Just devastating.
Great.
He needed almost 9 hours of surgery to repair all that damage. So these cases, Pozos and Macias, they really show the sheer range of what can happen. Blunt force trauma for Pozos, deep, life-threatening penetrations for Macias.
So putting it all together, we have these deeply embedded cultural traditions, clearly, but also posing just severe risks.
Undeniably.
We have Márquez's death, Pozos needing major facial surgery, Macias surviving a 9-hour operation for damage to multiple organs. And what stands out is how the sources say these recent events have reignited debate.
Yes, that phrase comes up.
But what does that debate actually look like? What are the sides?
Well, that's where it gets really nuanced. It's not simple. The sources suggest proponents talk about, centuries of history. Tradition, the economic boost for local towns, the sense of identity, community cohesion these festivals create. For them, it's about preserving something vital.
And the other side?
Well, naturally, the opponents focus on the animal cruelty, which is undeniable. And as we've just discussed, the unacceptable human costs, the injuries, the deaths.
So it's ethics versus culture versus economic?
Exactly.
Yeah.
Evolving ethics clashing with very deep-seated cultural and economic factors.
Right.
It makes the debate incredibly tangled and, like the reports say, nowhere near being settled.
So let's try and bring this together. We've seen how these vibrant cultural events can just turn tragic so fast.
In an instant.
With devastating results for the people involved. You think about Yovanis Márquez, seemed okay, then suddenly fatally injured. Pozos, blindsided, needing his face rebuilt. Emilio Macias, those severe internal injuries. The details from the sources, they really highlight that tension, don't they? Between the celebration, the culture people cherish, and the stark reality of keeping participants safe.
It absolutely underscores that. These events, yes, they're rooted in tradition, centuries of it sometimes, but they constantly force us to look critically at the risks.
Right.
That reignited debate isn't just talk. It reflects the real, enduring human cost that exists right alongside the cultural meaning. It pushes us to think about these powerful forces, ancient practices meeting modern views on safety and ethics.
Which leaves us, and you listening, with a pretty challenging thought, I think. How does a society actually balance these incredibly deep-rooted traditions with the risks? The often severe, undeniable risks to life and limb.
It's a tough question.
And what does it tell us, really, when these festivals continue, sometimes even right after a tragedy? What does that say about how much these traditions are valued, how deeply important they are to the communities that keep them alive?
Okay, one more question for you. Is it ethical to continue animal-based festivals that result in serious human injuries even if the bull isn't killed? Don't forget to comment it. Thanks.